Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Daily Vibe on VTV. I'm your host, Vaughan, and today I'm going to talk to you about staying in the game. Success Foundation number 2. Now, it is the most important thing to do. Outlast your competition. First of all, let me backtrack a little here. Is there competition? Really? I want you to think about this. The most competition you're ever going to face in your life is yesterday's self. Who you were yesterday is the person that you need to improve from and beyond. Your potential is limitless. So far as we know it, nobody's maxed out their potential. The question is, what type of game are you playing? Whose game are you playing? It's okay if you're working for someone else. It's okay if you're a career professional. It's okay if you're a hustler, grinder, entrepreneur, a startup, a dreamer, whatever. Either way, there is a game being played. How are you playing it? How are you showing up? And for me personally in my life, I think one of the saddest things about somebody passing away and dying is not often the fact that the cemetery is where they're now resting. It's the fact that the death of a dream has occurred. Too many people go to their graves and they wish they risked more. They wished that they lived a more meaningful existence. Don't be those people. Do not lead the mediocre life. Challenge yourself. But part of this process, upon saying, I'm going to make a decision to commit to doing this for my life, I'm going to create this type of art, I'm going to turn my life into a masterpiece, is outlasting the competition. Now, I said earlier, the competition you really have is inner. It's yourself. It's the demons you face, the struggles you face. I know in my life every day I'm uncomfortable. I'm trying to push my limits. I'm always challenging myself. I don't have to do things like these shows. I want to do them because they grow me. They challenge me personally, professionally. They make me better, I hope. Point being for you, the competition out there, there is also a game being played in that space, except you've been raised wrong. You've been raised to outwit, outmarket, outsell, and beat people to get what you want. You don't need to do that. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You might need to know how to hire smart people so you can get what you want. That would be a better use of intelligence, right, than just getting A's all the way through school. But my point is, you got to stay in the game and you got to understand how to use the competition out there to propel yourself. Because guess what? Most people just don't stick at it long enough. That's it. I'm serious. Do you really think, I mean seriously, think about it for a minute. Do you really think that the top singers that you hear, the top actors that get all the films, the artists that might get all the money, the speakers that might get all the money, the coaches, do you really think they're the best just because they get paid or they're number one on a chart or they get like an award? Well, the answer is yes. We cannot take away from the accolade, the skill development, the insane amount of sacrifice some of those people make for true genius and work to shine through. But on a large scale, probably on the Pareto principle scale, the 80-20 rule, 20% are pure amazing, right? We know those people, they're legends in any field. But there's another 80% there that, well, do you know what? They just lasted in the game longer than anyone else. And when the opportunity arose, what's the Chinese saying? Well, I don't think it's Chinese, but what is the typical standard Western definition of luck? When preparation meets opportunity. And hey, you're there. Why not? Why not you, right? Because you stayed in the game long enough. Most people don't understand that. They wait, and yesterday I made a video that you should go back or listen to about how we measure progress and success wrong. It's just, you use it against yourself more than for yourself, okay? So yes, measure profit, cash flow, use the revenue source, grow things wisely, have a plan if you need to, but realize that can go against you. What we've got to do is stay in the game. Now we need something that's going to pull us through the dark nights, pull us through the trenches, pull us into, I suppose the highest states of creativeness, and when we want to get up early and go to work. We want to go to bed late because we love what we do, rather than be feeble corpses getting dragged through life, hoping we make it safely to death. The key is this. Think about Stephen Bradbury. Classic example of an Australian speed skater who I listened to a talk of his, and it was brilliant, right? Because we've got a saying in Australia called throwing a Bradbury. And what it means is that he was in the final of the Olympics, I think it was in the 96 Olympics, don't quote me on that, but The point is, he was in the Olympics in the finals for the speed skating. So one of the top 6 in the world only can be on the ice at any time. Now, he was getting to the final lap when he was about to go around, and one of the other competitors knocked out the others. They all stacked it. But Mr. Bradbury, who wasn't placing first, through the finish line, right? And he makes fun of it himself. He says, it might be funny that that's how I got my gold, but I had to put myself in a position to get that gold. You think I could just turn up on the ice that day? No. I spent years, and he talked about his story of getting injured, having a skate go through his thigh, like completely through, and surgery, how he'd get up every morning, sacrifice and run and sprint, and the athlete's life, right? So not just like one day I'm gonna turn up to the Olympics and go, no. He had spent over a decade preparing for that one moment. Now you might say, oh, well, he was just lucky. What's luck when preparation meets opportunity? Like half the time it's just staying in the game. It isn't just I don't believe in fate. I don't think it's bestowed upon you and not upon you. I do believe there are some people who are just incredibly gifted. But outside of the anomalies of the world, you and I have potential that we can release and unleash. And we can do that if we stay in it long enough. If we stay in it long enough, what you end up doing is mastering yourself. You master your skills because you're staying in the game. You're fighting against that inner demon. You're beating down your dragon every day. You're waking up, maybe not feeling good. You're waking up like you've got bills to pay. You've got the struggle of a relationship. Maybe you don't have a relationship and you're doing it solo. You've got a little one depending on you, right? Like you've got the realness of life there. Stay in the game. Tony Robbins says it best. He says most people drastically overestimate what they can do in 1 year and they massively underestimate what they can do in 10. And in my own life, I'm like reminding myself of that because I might do videos like this, audios, programs, whatever, and it's like crickets and tumbleweed might be there. Then I'll do other things and then it's like thousands of people see it or heaps of things sell or I make some more money than I thought I would. I was like, that's cool, that worked. Staying in the game, that's the principle. In my professional career, when I went at 19 years old, I made a decision to become a professional dancer. And so when I first started dancing, I was like, woohoo, yeah, oh my God, the hip thrust was strong in me, right? But I had a dream, I had aspiration, and I had ambition. And I was like, I had the right coach. It's one of the reasons why we should work together. Seek me out. Let's do some coaching because you need someone in your corner helping you to unleash that potential and to see the road ahead of you because sometimes you can't. Anyways, I was like, fueled up with blind ambition and just naivety, let's go. I ended up fueling this dream and I stayed in the game. But I was doing the work, right? There's that dirty ass word of doing the work. But don't tell anyone, it takes actual serious work, right? I was doing the work 6 days a week, training every day, very little holidays, 1 or 2 weeks off a year, like making sure I lived the athlete's lifestyle. Everything was centered around this goal. Lifestyle, what I ate, what I drank, well, maybe in my early 20s, a bit too much of the drinking and partying, but still, I made sure I recovered well, I supplemented, I did the gym thing, Everything revolved around me creating the self-actualized self-image of the person who has already achieved that goal. And I started that when I was 19. It took 10 years for it to manifest into becoming a world professional representing Australia. Let me tell you something, shock horror. There are dancers way better than me. Like seriously, the competition, if you decided to become a professional dancer now and you looked at the competition, you go, there's no way you could do that. That's what I was thinking. It's like, no way. But then I went, but what if you could? Like, what if you could? I mean, why not? Why not give it a shot? I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You might just develop some skills. You might develop more confidence. You might learn a thing or two about yourself. You might learn how to get over trials and tribulations and overcome adversity, It's like, that can't be a bad thing. What I'd learned in those 10 years has set me up to coach people now because I've trialed and errored on many strategies to see what works and what doesn't for me. Here's what I found. You have to outlast the competition because so many people quit. People who are more talented than you, people who have better skills, who just get it quicker, they will leave whatever industry you're in. Then there will be a tiny percentage that will remain who will literally be the competition, quote unquote, and there's plenty for all in that space. You can't, like in business, people worry about competition. I don't know why. The market just will not shrink. And even if it does shrink, new people come in, new people go out. That's how markets work. It isn't just like it's a 10% market share. It's like it's 10% today, 9.999 tomorrow, 11% the next day. Like it changes constantly because people are fluctuating, money goes in and out. That's how it works. So you don't have to get fixated on those numbers and try and just crush everyone. Why? Crush yesterday's limiting beliefs. Crush yesterday's petty, jealous, resentful self because you haven't realized that you've got something better to give and you're not tapping into it. And today is the day. And then when you make that decision, realize it's now a life commitment. It isn't a 5-year plan. It's not a 10-year goal. It's a life commitment to upskilling and outlasting yourself in this game. This is Vaughan. I thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Seek me out. Let's do some work together at some point. I'd love to coach you and show you what you can really do and be. Thank you very much.